And that would be about 40 out of the 52 say, yeah, I participate. I'm part of the problem some of the time and a fair amount. But one brave soul said, it's me. I'm the problem. I think we should have that person join this panel because you're going to have a lot to say. Thanks for being so honest. And several said, not at all. I don't do any type of thing that would be considered digital pollution. With that, let's jump in and get started. And I'd like to welcome the panel, first of all. I'm going to ask a question I'd like all of you to weigh in on. And the audience, weigh in on this question, chat in. This title here, Threatening the Future of Our Profession. Is this really a problem? Is it hurting the profession? Is sales broken? What is this digital pollution thing? And I'm going to go around. Please just do a very brief introduction to who you are, what you do, and give us your thoughts on what are you seeing out there? Is it a real problem and why? And let's go ahead and start with Alicia.
I'm excited to be here. My name is Alicia. I'm the national speaker at BombBomb. And yes, this is a huge problem. I think that we see about 270 billion emails are sent a day, and half of those are spam. And that spam dump number doesn't even include the constant onslaught of impersonal and irrelevant sales messages, emails I get on a daily basis. I'm not even a decision maker. And I am constantly getting irrelevant sales messages in my inbox.
Very good. 50%. That's incredible. Jennifer.
Hi, guys. Jennifer Neitz here with Coact Associates. I'm the vice president. We are an outsourced inside sales and marketing firm and have about 70 clients across the country. And I would say, yes, it is a very big threat to us. A lot of people are getting sucked in. When we work with our clients every day, we are getting bombarded. Our clients are getting bombarded with digital messages, even on the Google AdWords and the advertising and intent data. And they think it's the go-to resource that's going to solve all of their problems.
But we just had a comment or a question by the audience. How can we combat digital pollution when so many people are working remotely now? So, they're relying on what they have at home. They're not hearing everyone else sell. So that's a question we'll talk about later. But Cyan, let's go to you on this question.
I will just share a statistics right now that 86% of decision makers, when they are being prospected, they feel that all the products are same. Like, for example, you are selling him a HR solution and another person is selling him another solution right now, but that person feels that everything is same. Why? Because of the digital pollution which we have created. Digital pollution right now is suicidal. We are digging our own graves by sending them repeated omni-channel messaging across every possible ways itself. And as Alicia mentioned about the spam thing as well, since the phishing attacks have increased across the world, the email spam filters have really become much more sophisticated, much more intelligent. So the moment you guys are doing more digital pollution across, half of your emails are right now lying duck in the spam boxes itself. So yes, we are digging our own grave. Hi, San from founder of 221 Baker Street.
And so the title, Threatening the Future, I mean, it's real, right? And I'm wondering if we're kind of stuck in this and how do we get out of it? We'll get to that a little bit later. Smash.
Yeah, thanks, Bob, and hi, everyone. My name is Somesh Chablani, and at Fidelity National Information Systems, I lead a global go-to-market programs function. In my prior roles, I have led digital sales and business development. So digital pollution is a topic very near and dear to my heart. It is definitely a hot topic and a rising trend, with specifically ESG being discussed at corporates, and what my co-panelist said, 2 billion plus emails going around. To me, digital pollution is digital distraction. With all social posts, emails, we really need to raise the awareness and democratize this topic. But glad to be here.
Look, we just had a comment. Again, let's get on that chat. We want to hear from you, but this is a great comment. I'm going to look over to my right because I have the questions on the right screen here. How strange is it that we live in a world so rich in distraction, yet poor and meaningful conversations. Before we get to maybe some of the things we can do better, let's do a speed round. Give me 1 or 2 words, a short sentence here on what would you say is a distraction in this digital pollution? What do you get that distracts you? Alicia.
I would say the LinkedIn messages that you think are going to be personal, that ends up being just a standard, they don't know anything about me, do you want to buy from me message. Constant distraction.
I got a great story. I connected with someone. They wrote back immediately. Bob, are you open to me giving you a sales pitch? That's what it said. I swear that's word for word. Jennifer, what do you think is distracting?
For me, it's the emails that like somebody has recopied their original message like over and over again, and then they try to get kind of cute, like, this will be my, last time, even though it's not going to be, or clearly you haven't been listening, and it's kind of like, well, clearly I'm not the right person. If you would have done your research, I'm not interested in this.
Oh, we get them all. I got one yesterday. I'm afraid that my emails have gotten lost and you're not getting them. Oh, really? Okay. All right. So another comment here. This is a good one. Any sound pinging me for my attention, right? I did turn my phone off, but there'll probably be some other ping around here. That's a good one. Cyan, thoughts on distractions?
Sure. So I would look into this entire thing from a psychological point of view, actually. So a book which was being written in 1985 by Neil Postman's Amusing Ourselves to Death. It was a bestseller. He predicted that we are going to submerge ourselves and our attention span is going to go lower and lower the more the devices which we are going to have. He was speaking about that on that time on televisions. Right now, we are being distracted with multiple devices around. The problem is with transient attention span. For example, you are working on something, you get distracted by or being bombarded by other emails or something like that. So are you keeping your attention to the original task or the original email which is being sent to you? For example, you have got an email from my end, from a sales prospect. Now you're doing omnichannel marketing. I'm doing prospecting to you through another social media itself right now. So am I not distracting you right now by the digital pollution? Am I not making your transient attention span really, really less and short? Yeah. That's what the problem it is. Yeah.
Great. We had another comment here. Very long emails. I just delete them, they say. I mean, it's too much to read. Samesh, did you weigh in on this distraction piece? I forget if I got to you.
Sure. I mean, I would just echo to what my co-panelist said. It's a culmination of emails, social posts, but more importantly, Bob, as I said, digital pollution equal to digital distraction, because emails, there's no personalization, right? There's so long emails. It just distracted. I sometimes I'm eager to find what's the crux of that email. So it's all about making it brief, succinct. To what Sayan said, the span of attention is less. So we need to just be cognizant and put customer centricity into the heart of what we do.
This is a tough topic, right? And so we're going to get as transparent and honest here as we can. On one side, we have corporations, leaders, managers who are saying, you got to do more calls, you got to do more emails. We're going to use this cadence tool. And by the way, technology, the digital aspect of this can be a wonderful thing, right? If implemented and used properly. I sometimes think it isn't. Sometimes we see where it's used really well. So this is not a negative conversation on digital or technology. Rather, it's a real conversation about what we're doing out there. And so we have two sides. Do more. Let's be persistent. Persistence in sales isn't a bad thing, is it? On the other side, we have the time and effort it takes to really forget about pitching my story and trying to be human to someone, right? Trying to have empathy, listening, caring. So we're going to dig into that. I want you as an audience to be a bit vulnerable as well here and offer your own insights, because that'll help everyone here. I have an instinct to be authentic. Quality over quantity. Let's go there, right, Alicia? Quality over quantity.
I just there's a better way, right? Like there has to be a balance between our automation and our more personal touches. But there's a Tiffany Bova quote. She's a chief evangelist at Salesforce. I heard her say it on a stage. I use it all the time. And she said, "Do you want to be better at your job or not? Automate the things you can, but human contact can never be automated." So you have to find a balance in your cadence between where are the pieces that I can send like valuable content that might be automated, that is going to create positive familiarity with the people in my pipeline, right? You want to send value that's creating the positive familiarity, but then on the other side, you do actually have to make some personal touches, right? Sales is know, like, and trust. We know this. So, I mean, obviously I work for a video company. I believe strongly that video is another piece to the positive familiarity that breaks through the noise, because that's what we're talking about, right? We're talking about how do you get through the noise, and it's always going to be value driven, but then the human element, you can't ignore that.
Good comments over here a little bit.
I will take a cue, actually, Bob. In fact, I will just say one thing. I had one experience once. There was a prospect, her name was Vanessa. And as we are talking about personalization and customization, so we started off having a conversation with her by saying that, hey, we went through her LinkedIn profile and we saw that she started off an event of, instead of bouquet tossing, which happens in a, in a marriage, what she started to do is that she started to donate or started a measure of adopting pets at multiple locations whenever there is a marriage is happening. Now, we started off a conversation with her with that point. Hey, you know what, Vanessa, being an animal lover, I really admire what you're doing instead of the bouquet tossing, which you're doing, or the flower tossing, which is happening. You have started off something by donating the animals or pups, which would have been incarcerated or something like that. And she instantly responded back and said, hey, you know what, let's get on a call. And I really wanted to have a discussion on that. So this is what Alicia's point. Yeah.
This is fantastic. I want to go to Jennifer and Samesh. And I had someone LinkedIn me. I didn't know who they were. And they go, Bob, I love that microphone you used. Did I read the rest of that? Yep. Did I connect? Yep. Right. But Jennifer, Samesh, personalization, sometimes it's a little bit, not sincere, right? So talk to us about what good looks like with personalization.
Yes, sincere personalization. You don't want to just pick out 5 things and use names and your title. Do your pre-call research. What's the person really into? What are some of the challenges that that they have in their job by the articles that they're posting on LinkedIn? So it's one step further than that surface level. Who am I? We use a lot of handwritten thank you cards here, and just being that appreciative when we have good conversations, even if someone's not ready to move forward in additional conversation, just being thankful and showing that empathy when empathy's deserved. And I think that appreciative inquiry, sometimes I like to use, just being very appreciative for the human connection that we're making with people.
Yeah, that's great. Good point. Samesh, your thoughts.
Bob, I'm not going to say anything new, but I heard some very good keywords, because for us also it's learning. It's an interactive session, right? I heard authentic, I heard sincere, I heard thank you cards. Thank you, Jennifer. That's exactly what we need to do. To Alicia's point, bring in that human-centric approach. This is not about robots. This is not about automation, right? Ultimately, the person at the other end who's making that buying decision is a human. So if you come out genuinely, if you are authentic, people like to buy from other people whom they like. So I think the likability factor ties this very well with human centricity.
So we want this session to give people ideas, whether it's from us, the audience here, that they can go do something differently. We got to get on top of this problem because it's not getting better. Some of the statistics. Here's a great comment I'm going to read. It's a quote: any organization has to strive continuously for the orderliness of order and the disorderliness of creative freedom. So there's got to be a balance between the automated and the personal. And I think that's a big piece of that. Let's go ahead and here's another one. People like to buy from other people, Awesome. It's a human to human piece. Let's kind of broad stroke humanization in selling. Besides the use of personalization, which everybody is agreeing to that, and some good examples, by the way. What about humanizing the entire selling process? What might that mean to you? Cyan, let's start with you on that. Besides personalization.
Absolutely. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about something else. Like if you're, there's a quote, if you're talking to everyone, then you're not talking with anyone actually. The problem with the folks, the sales and the marketing team is that they do carpet bombing and they don't do sniper shooting. So what they should do actually is that they should know which buyer persona you're reaching out to. I'll give you an example. So consider the fact that if you are trying to sell a compensation solution, which you have, and you just think that, hey, I should only reach out to the head of compensation, you're making a mistake. You need to see what other folks are doing in that field. Maybe somebody from a diversity and inclusion. So you need to go investigate whom you exactly are reaching out to and do not carpet bomb. Find out the right folks. It's more important the right folk to reach out to.
I'm laughing. So the call I got last week from a student loan department, I said, no, I haven't had a student loan in 45 years. Jennifer, humanization and selling process.
Yeah, I think you have to meet the buyer where they are in the sales process. Let them be the guide. And so if you're having, great conversation, you have to meet them where they are and have them say, what's going to work best for you. If you make this about you as the seller, it's not going to go very far. And so I really appreciate when I'm doing a demo, when the sales rep tells me, what would make sense, and then they don't push it. They respect my timeline. They follow up as I've asked them to follow up. So if I say follow up by email or respond to you quickly, and then they start calling me, that really irritates me because they haven't listened. So listen. Go on the buyer's journey with them.
I like it. I like it a lot. Great comment here. Old school, ask more questions. Certainly not telling. And I heard this phrase, selling is not telling. Anyway, anyone else on the humanization aspect? Alicia, looks like you have
Yeah, go ahead, Alicia.
Yeah, I think, what Jennifer was saying, centering the other person's needs is so important. And a couple of the comments that I've heard here is about long emails, or Samesh said something about robot emails. And I think that's one of the places where video is actually, video benefits us as sellers because we can leverage our humanity. But video is a benefit for the recipient as well because they don't have to read a long email. 85% of executives polled said they would rather watch a video than read a big long email. So you're giving them the ability to, consume the information in a way that also respects their humanity. But then they also don't have to worry about if it's a robot email, right? Like how many emails do you have in your inbox that you don't know if a real person wrote it or if a robot or a marketing team wrote it? When you send a video and I can say, hi, Bob, right away, you know that I am a real person talking to a real person. So you're not only just benefiting from your humanity, but you are respecting their humanity.
It's like the thank you note Jennifer brought up. That can't be automated. It's can be, but it's clear it was handwritten. It was personalized, I would assume. So that's really, really good point. Samesh.
Yeah, I couldn't resist to say that one particular formula which my team came up with is the 3 Ps, which is first is research your audience, which Cyan said. So it's all about people. The second is personalization, which Alicia sort of dealt upon is, video, even if it's brief. And the third is, are you really addressing a problem? Because helping is selling. Selling is not helping. So if you are a sales exec or a BDR on this panel, just remember those 3 things, which is it's all about people, it's about personalization and problem solving.
That's really good. The 3 Ps. Type or say those 3 Ps again. That's a good takeaway.
Sure. It's all about people, the first P. The second is personalize your message. And third is try to position this as a problem solving. So helping clients is selling. Selling is not help. Yeah.
Really good.
So help your clients.
All right. I'm going to get to an audience question here. the one question I think we can spend a minute on here: how do we stand out as sales professionals when our prospects inboxes, inboxes are full of digital pollution? How do sales reps stand out? Who would like to take a stab at that one?
I'll go.
Sure.
So we all know
ahead,
this. Yeah, we all know this quote, right? Do more with less. I would say, let's flip that to also say, scale more with less. So again, nothing new, but to what our co-panelist said, if you really focus on the need of the buyer, to Jennifer's point, make sure you align with the buyer journey. You are then aligning everything what you're trying to share, tell, be a thought leader to what the buyer needs. So if you're addressing the business needs, the business problems of the buyer, I think the message can be focused, it can be personalized, and you really don't have to send and bombard their inbox. It can be few. So scale more with less.
Anyone else?
Bob, I have a different point actually. So Alicia, which she mentioned about the video marketing, I agree and disagree with that. Why I disagree with that is, as I told you, that the spam filters, the problem is that the moment they see, the more the hyperlinks of a video or any preview of the videos come, that's the way that the algorithm works. They really generally put those videos more into the spam boxes. That's one problem. That's one of the major problem over there is. I will quote one thing which I found out from Dr. K.R. Subramaniam's International Journal of Trend and Research and Development recently. What he researched and found out that when students or even the decision makers, when they are interacted with something which they are interested with, why would the students, when it's being said that millennials have a lower attention span, if something which is interesting actually, and they are being interacting with that actually, they remain in the classrooms for quite a longer period of time. So why they are really when the millennials have so much of distractions around, why they are looking into it? Because we have to keep in mind our future buyers are the millennials. Yeah. And with the 5G is coming up right now, how we are going to interact with them more. So for those reasons, I still feel it can be a simple email as well. It's not the medium more. It's more about how relevant it is and how interactive it is with the audience it is over there. It needs to be more snackable. That means that it's more smaller portion which they can eat. Yeah.
And that's a great point. Back to about long emails. Alicia, we got some chatter going on over here about spam filters. Can you make a comment? That's a valid point. Yeah.
So video does not equal non-digital pollution. You can be polluting people's inboxes just as much with video as you can with regular email. If you're sending bad email, if you are spamming people with video, you are still contributing to digital pollution. But from an inbox placement standpoint, I can tell you that we do not have a big problem personally, our company, with hitting spam filters because of the way we do it, because we teach good email practicing. We don't let people spam on our platform, and the way that we deliver video. So yes, you could run into a big problem with video hitting spam filters, but if you're doing it correctly, if you're using good practices, if you're sending one-to-one and you're actually sending good email, we don't see that as a problem. We actually have our customers get about like 98% inbox placement.
Yeah, that's real good. There's also someone chatted in an article on how to address spam filters. So that's in the chat, everyone. Go check that out. All right, got about 3 or 4 minutes left. So I'd like to do a once around here, and we'll leave this time open. We got 4 to 5 minutes. We'll leave the time open for any last minute specific questions, even if you want to direct it at one of the panelists. But as I'm keeping an eye on that, let's go once around. Jennifer, we're going to start with you, kind of work clockwise. And if you could offer one bit of wisdom or tip for people watching this that they can start tomorrow or Monday when they get into the office that might help curb this overall problem.
Yeah, one thing I heard today was people like to buy from humans or like to buy from other people. I think people it's people buy from people. It's not that they like to, they buy from people. And so I think we need to remember that, we're inside sales professionals. You have to pick up the phone. And I know that people are remote, but there's ways to get direct dials. And I know that they're not taking voicemails either. But again, that's our one human element. And so if you're talking with them and sending a personalized email and sending some relevant on LinkedIn, that will get through if you're doing everything correctly. So again, encourage the new people coming in that are distracted by digital. They want to mass LinkedIn, they want to mass email. Make sure our reps are getting comfortable having conversation on the phone, and we don't forget those important skills.
Great. Samesh.
I would say, as sales professionals and global citizens of the world, we all can play a part in controlling digital pollution. How? By remembering that the customer is the king and content is queen. So make wise decisions how you distribute your content and make that personalized.
You got some great little acronyms over there. I really love it. You could write a little book of acronyms. All right, Cyan.
First of all, the sales folks out there, do not be apologetic when you are reaching out to the decision makers. Hope you're doing well. I hope I'm not really disturbing you over here itself. Stop doing that. If you're doing your work properly, you do not have to be apologetic, actually. And maybe why you are being apologetic, because you are contributing to the digital pollution. That's why you are.
All right. Hey, Samesh, somebody said they'd buy a Samesh quote book. So there you go. You can get published. All right. 1 minute left, Alicia.
Yeah, I think that as long as you're shifting your mentality, you're going to be okay. If you are asking yourself the question, am I bringing value to this person? How can I serve this person? How can I help them? If you're shifting towards that and getting away from, can I get what I need from this person? You're going to be okay. Right? As long as your intention is focused on providing value and actually helping, then you won't be contributing to pollution.
As Jill Rowley once said about 10, 11 years ago, she said, you got to make deposits before you ask for a withdrawal, right? That's a good one. All right. We do have one question. I got to ask this question because the person put it in Q&A. We didn't answer it. Then they put it in the chat. So they really want an answer. And it's kind of a fun one, and might be a little B2C. I don't know. Has advertising shifted to brands using their pets, dogs or cats, to promote their products? Does anybody have any insight on that? I see a lot of pets on TV.
The reason is very simple, because pets and dogs, something which is really emotionally connected over there itself. Why Coca-Cola is always an evergreen brand? Because their brand position has always been an emotional connection itself. Pets and dogs, cute, everlasting. Pets and dogs will always be there itself. And for those reasons, the brand positioning is always centered around that, actually.
That's great. Cyan mentioned a word we can end this session with: emotional, right? We're human beings. It's okay to be emotional, to evoke emotion in when you speak with people. So with that, great job. I'm going to give the audience an A+. I've been on a lot of these, and the chat was going so fast I couldn't keep up with it. Good job, audience. Hope this was helpful. Panelists, thanks so much.